Today we are going to learn a new lesson, a first chapter in 10th class, that is reflection of light at curved surfaces. We know that we use plane mirrors daily to see our faces, and while we observe our faces in the plane mirrors, we observe our images also, and you might have seen your faces even in curved surfaces also. So I think we observe some differences in those surfaces because there are some reasons of getting different types of images in plane surfaces or plane mirrors as well as in curved mirrors. So let us learn about reflection of light at curved surfaces. So here you observe that reflection. So reflection means bouncing back. Bouncing back. So here we are learning about light. So bouncing back of light rays into same medium. So let me explain you with some example. Let us observe here. You will have a small ball here. So here when I drop the ball, so you observe that while the ball falls on the bench, it was reflected back. So it means that the ball is bouncing back into the same medium. I am dropping the ball from the air, and the ball, after striking the bench, again it is reflected back in the same medium into the air. Okay, so this is what we call it as a reflection. So if we consider the light, so bouncing back of light rays into same medium, so that is called as a reflection of light. Okay, now let me explain you with some example. Let us assume that this is a an object or a soft object. Here I will show you. So assume that this is an object. This is a cloth. So this cloth so appears like same of this object. So here I am placing the pen perpendicularly to the cloth. Okay. So you observe. So assume that this is a pen. Okay. If I take another pen, one more pen, so assume that these are the two pens which I placed perpendicularly to the cloth. So when I bend the cloth, so you observe that both the pens will meet at a common point. So if you bend the same cloth, so you observe that these pens, they will come close to each other and they will meet at a point. Suppose if I bend the same cloth in the opposite direction like this, so what we observe that these two pens, they will move away from each other. So if you bend the cloth in the opposite direction, we observe that these two pens, they will move away from themselves, or they will move away from each other. So what we observe here is, so if you bend the cloth inwards, so we observe the two pens get converge, and here if you bend the cloth outwards, so the light rays, the two pens get diverge. So here we observe that this curved surface, it gives, or it tells about the concave mirror, and this gives about or tells about the convex mirror. So what happens whenever the light rays will fall on the curved mirror, or on the concave mirror, so after reflection the light rays get converge at a point, and when the light rays will fall on the convex mirror, after reflection the light rays get diverge away from each other. So this is what we learn about the concave mirror and convex mirror. Now let us see. So here we are going to learn about curved surfaces. So let me explain you with some example. So assume that this is a spherical mirror. Okay. So if I divide this spherical mirror into two parts. So the left side I will get this type of structure and right side like this. So if I polish or if I apply a paint on the outer surface of this curved surface, and if I apply the paint to the inner surface of this curved part, so what we observe here is, so these two parts or these two surfaces, they gives us the curved mirrors. So if the light rays, or if any mirror or any curved mirror, if it is polished outer side or outwards, then such type of mirrors are called as concave mirrors. And if a curved surface or a curved mirror for which it is polished inside and the reflecting part is outer side, then such type of mirrors are called as convex mirrors. So these are the two types of mirrors which we are going to learn now. And these two mirrors, even either it is concave or convex, they are part of the spherical mirrors. So now let us learn about the reflection. So how does the reflection takes place when it falls on the concave mirror? Okay, so before that, so we have learned in the earlier classes, so reflection of light on the plane surface. So assume that, so this is a plane mirror, so we know that the mirror is denoted like this. So this part denotes as that it is painted, so we will not get any image on this side, and this part and the above part is a reflecting part where we can see the image or we can see our picture also. Okay, fine. Now, so assume that here I have taken a laser light, so I am making the light to fall on the plane mirror. Okay, so when the light rays will fall on the mirror, after falling here, the light ray get reflected back into the same mirror. So this light ray is called as incident ray. So we call it as incident ray, and this light ray is considered as a reflected ray. So we observe that, suppose if I draw a perpendicular line exactly in between the two light rays, one is incident ray and reflected ray, and this perpendicular line is called as normal line. So here we observe that this normal makes an angle with the incident ray as well as with the reflected ray also. So the angle between the normal and incident ray is called angle of incidence, that is noted with small letter I, and the angle between the normal and reflected ray is denoted with small r, that is called as angle of reflection. So, and we observe this point, the point where this incident ray, reflected ray and normal meets, and that point is called as point of incidence. That point is called as point of incidence. Okay, so here if you observe these two angles on the plane surface, okay, or plane mirror, if we measure the angle, both angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. This is the first law of reflection. So we know that we have total two laws of reflection. So laws of reflection. So the first law of reflection is angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. And the second law of reflection is, here this is called incident ray and the reflected ray and normal, and this point is called where all these incident ray, reflected and normal meet, and that point is called as point of incidence. We observe all are lying at the same plane or on the same mirror, same surface. So that is the second law of reflection. So incident ray, reflected ray, normal and point of incidence, okay, point of incidence lies on same plane. and this is called as second law of reflection. So we have learned about what are concave mirrors and what are convex mirrors, and here I have given an introduction about plane mirror. So we observed that the incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal line, and the angle between the normal and incident ray, angle between normal and reflected ray, and two laws of reflection. Now we are going to learn about some terms which are related to the curved mirror. Okay, so in the previous session we have seen that when the cloth is bent inwards, the pins or the pens, they get converged. So there we consider those two pens as normals. So when these normals converge at a point, so that point is called as center of curvature. So that I explained in the previous session. So the point where all the normals will meet, so that point is called as center of curvature. Okay, so just you remember this point. Okay, now let us see what is a pole. So before that, so we will see what is a concave mirror. Here I will consider a concave mirror. So we know that a mirror which is polished outside, outer side, and the reflecting part is inside. So such type of mirror is called as concave mirror. So this is a concave mirror, and so let us see here. If I locate a midpoint on the mirror, so this point is called as geometric mean of the mirror. So this point is also called as a midpoint on the mirror. So this point is called as pole, and this is denoted with a letter P, capital P. Okay, now here we know that suppose if actually this concave mirror is a part of spherical mirror. So if you consider the spherical mirror, so assume that this is a complete structure of the mirror, spherical mirror. So if you locate a midpoint, so this midpoint is called as center of curvature, which is the midpoint in the mirror. So now if I join this pole and center of curvature with a line, so this line is called as principal axis. Okay, so now suppose let us consider, let us observe here. So we have seen what is pole and what is center of curvature. Now coming to the principal axis. So a line which joins pole and center of curvature is called as principal axis. Okay, now here if you observe, we observe that the distance between pole and center of curvature is called as radius of curvature. Called as radius of curvature. Okay, now so let us see what is the focus point. So here suppose if I locate a midpoint in between pole and center of curvature, so that midpoint is called as focus point. Okay, so the midpoint in between pole and focus is called as center of curvature. So if you consider the length, the distance from pole to focus, this is called a focus point. And focus actually, focus is called, we consider it as when the light rays passes parallel to the principal axis. After striking the mirror, they passes through the focus. So this focus point where we get a sharp image. So focus is also, we can learn that a point where we get a sharp image. Sharp image is nothing but a clear image. Okay, so now if you observe, so the distance between pole and focus is denoted with small f, and that small f is called as focal length. And similarly here you can observe the same distance from focus point to center of curvature, and this distance is also called as focal length. So here you observe from pole to center of curvature you consider it as radius of curvature, and similarly from pole to center of curvature, so you have a midpoint that is called focus point. So from pole to focus point you have a distance, that distance is considered as focal length, and the same from focus to center of curvature it is denoted with small f, that is also called as focal length. So what we observe from these two, we observe that so we get the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. So we can write it as radius of curvature is equals to focal length 2 times of focal length. So we can write radius of curvature is equals to 2 times of focal length, and f is equals to r by 2. So this is the formula to calculate radius of curvature and focal length is given, and this is a formula to calculate focal length when radius of curvature is given. Okay, thank you.